Welcome to Nitpicking Nerds and what's becoming one of my favorite series.
We got 15 cards. We're going to tell you whether they're worth buying or not for Commander.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, Beezy, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds, bringing you more daily content every single day.
You gotta be kidding me.
I don't know if we're close to a year or not, but we're probably approaching it. If you want to support the channel and you're like, wow, almost a year, I got to go support them. TCG player link in the description. Buy cards you were going to buy anyway, so you support yourself and the channel for free.
Yes, and if you want to help celebrate 50K, which is fastly coming up, you can send us cool stuff in the mail for our opening special video for 50K. P.O. Box in the description below.
50K unboxing, those are big, right?
It's a P.O. Box opening video.
Un-P.O. boxing.
Yeah, this is sure. I like it. So let's hop into this video. This is a series that is becoming a regular on this channel. It's actually really fun to do, and people seem to like it, so we're going to keep doing it. We take 15 cards suggested by people within our Discord. I literally add everybody, and I say, what cards do you want to see us talk about? And they make suggestions, and we say, hey, at the price this card is currently at, would we suggest buying it for the Commander format? We're mostly talking about strength. Mostly. We might mention a few other things, but it's mostly just about, is this card strong enough for decks to buy?
And some of them might be too expensive. If the card's $1,000 and it's really good, I might say, no, it's not worth buying. I don't have $1,000. Nobody has $1,000.
I think the greatest example of something that's way too expensive but is incredible is Tabernacle Pendraveil. It is 100% an amazing Magic card, and if you can actively afford it, it's worth it. Almost nobody can afford that, so I would say no. Never buy a Tabernacle for EDH.
Exactly. So let's just get into episode 3 now. Most Nitpicking Nerd series don't make it to episode 3.
No, people really gotta like them, so people like them, we're doing them. First one, suggested by Cadit, who has had one in all 3 videos now because they immediately respond to my ad everyone's. It is Vampiric Tutor, currently sitting at $43. This is as low as it's been. I think it hit 30 for a little bit. But 40, I mean, for a leveling price of like not being in a set right now, is pretty low.
Yeah, I mean, well, it used to be 98. That was kind of the price I settled on. It was 88 or 98, and I would always remember, yep, Vampiric Tutor is between $88 and $98 at all times. 43 feels kind of like a good deal. I would say for me right now, no, it's not worth buying. But would I recommend you buy it if you care about power? Yes.
Yes. If we only talk about power, Vampiric Tutor at $43 is worth it. I will say this. Me and BZ actively have, I think, 2 Vampiric Tutors and 3 Demonic Tutors.
They're just chilling.
Just sitting there. We have black decks. We tend to exclude these because I think the easiest way to keep a deck more fair and balanced is to not include the tutors. So if you just cut the Vampiric Tutors and Demonic Tutors, the best 2 tutors of all time, then you can take your deck's power level down. But for power, these are obviously incredible. Vampiric Tutor, $43. I'm in.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how many Vampiric Tutors there's going to be in Shuffle Scuffle or in our fun games, but if you're trying to upgrade a power deck, 100% Vampiric Tutor is worth 43, and I would not be surprised if, a year from now, it's 63.
If it doesn't see another reprint, it will just continue. It'll do the same thing.
Just go right back up.
In 2 years, if it's not reprinted, it'll be $100 again.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee that.
Number 2 is from Henri. It's Dream Halls. It's basically Omniscience, but it works for everybody, and you got to discard a card in order to get that free spell, and it's $37.
Okay. This is such an easy yes. If you have a deck it goes in. This does not go in a lot of decks. It goes in very specific decks. It's great with wheels. It's great with tons of card draw. And the downside of this card is that it is an effect for everybody, meaning every single player at the table gets to do this. But if you're going to win when you play it, this card is incredible. It's only $37. I think that's not just worth it. It is super worth it. This is not just a regular card. This is a reserve list card. $37 for a very, very strong reserve list card in Commander. I am in all day. That price is well worth it. We have 2 that we've been sitting on for a long time. I'm not getting rid of them unless they go well over 100.
Well, I'm not getting rid of them because we just might play them somewhere.
That's true.
I mean, in a mono blue deck, especially, you just go off. It's like, oh, Omniscience for 5 mana. That's what it feels like. People can have instant speed interaction. Do they have a card to discard? I don't know. They're not building around Dream Halls. Maybe not. Do they have a card to discard to answer your threats right now when you don't have a counterspell? Probably not. I don't know. That's not going to happen. You're just going to steamroll people. I don't know how this is reserve list and amazing and only $37.
Yeah, it is kind of a shockingly low price for a playable reserve list card?
Yeah, the
There are
unplayable ones are hundreds.
Yeah, I was going to say there's unplayable reserve list cards that are actively hundreds of dollars. This is a playable one. Get Dream Halls right now for $37. Seriously, I can't... I keep saying this about this card, that it can't stay this low, but it keeps staying this low, so just buy it. Get this card.
Don't watch this video a year from now and then have FOMO because it's 137.
Yeah.
So the next one is Serial Bypass, asking about Deadly Rollick, which is at $14. It's 3 in a black exile creature, and then you can do it for free if you have your commander. I think, for me, this is one of the best spells in Commander, especially one of the best spot removal spells. It's like number 2-ish. I love this card. I'm in all day.
Yeah, Deadly Rollick is very good. $14, it's not even close. I think that is very easy yes. We're 3 for 3 with yeses. Deadly Rollick just removes any creature from the battlefield. Not only that, it exiles. Having exile over destroy is huge. It takes the card, any card, basically doubles how good it is when you change those two wordings. It's that good.
I think if your commander costs 4 or less, this is an auto-include, no question. And when you control your commander, this is better than Swords to Plowshares. How many cards are better than Swords to Plowshares? None. That's the best removal spell. But you meet this small requirement. Now this is better.
Yeah, it also has the fail case.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, 4 mana removal. Yeah, that's really bad. That's a spell we don't put in our decks. But
you're paying 0 most of the time.
Yeah, exactly. Being a modal spell like that makes it really good. So Deadly Rollick, $14, not close. This is the triple yeses. Next one might be more of a discussion. It is suggested by Brick Solar, and it is Birthing Pod, coming in at $15.
I really like Birthing Pod. It's one of my pet cards, and I have it in my pet deck. I don't really have it in any other deck, though. I don't think this is one of those cards that is CDH level. It's definitely a step below that. And you really got to build your deck with Birthing Pod in mind. You can't just build a deck and throw it in. You got to make sure, what are my 2s, 3s, 4s? Do I have similar answers on each curve? Can I always pot into something relevant? So you need to be a really heavy creature deck. And then yes, I would say yes.
Yeah, this one's tough. Like you said, this is a very specific card. You need to be playing a toolbox deck. You need to build with this card in mind. It has a lot of downsides, but all those downsides are worth it because the fact is this card is an absolute powerhouse. Because of the Phyrexian mana, this is it's basically a 4 mana spell that says 4 mana sorcery, activate, sacrifice a creature, get something 1 greater. Okay, that's amazing. And we can just and every turn you get to do it over and over and over again. It's really good. It is a niche card. It is not a card that goes in most decks or a lot of decks. They're very specific. They have 40 creatures in it, and those creatures are looking to be tutored up. Those kind of decks, absolutely worth it. If you're just throwing it in because it's cool, probably not. You want to make sure that your deck is actually focused on using Birthing Pod.
Yes, I will say if you have a 40 creature deck, yes, I'm saying get Birthing Pod and then fix your curve. If you've got a couple random slots that could be moved around because they're similar power levels, do it so that you can hit the I have Caustic Caterpillar and Mass Vandal and Rex Sage, so at any Birthing Pod number, I can blow up an artifact or enchantment.
Absolutely, yeah. Make sure you make your deck a little bit better with Birthing Pod. Like I said, that's the downside. Birthing Pod requires a lot of building around, but it's worth it when the deck is good enough.
It's a good card. Number 5 comes from someone named Watchman, and they're asking about Krark Clan Ironworks, which is currently sitting at $26. This card is really good. I think people overplay it, so I'm going to say yes. If you are in a artifact-centric deck, or you have the infinite combo with I think it's Scrap Trawler and Mirror Retriever and a Mox Opal or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of combos with Krark Clan Ironworks. For $26, I'm going to say overall no. Almost no deck needs this $26 bad. There are the decks that need it. Yeah, there's probably it's 0.1% of decks want this, and those decks should spend $26. Almost any other deck, even very artifact-centric decks, don't want this. You don't want to be throwing away your artifacts for no reason. Is it good? Yeah, it's very... In the decks that know how to use it and are using it correctly, it's amazing. It's incredibly strong. You just don't need to pick this up for almost any deck, though.
It's really, really good if you're trying to make Food, Treasure, Clue. We found out that is nuts because you sack the food, crack the treasure, sack the food, crack the clue, and now you have treasure left over.
Yeah, exactly. They're definitely, like you said, there are decks that want this card. They're few and far between. If you're not exactly that 0.01% of decks, stay away from this card because if you just throw it in even into a 50 artifact deck, You throw this in, it could still be bad if you don't have artifacts worth sacrificing.
Yeah, you got to have the fodder like the Mirror Sires and the Baubles and all that crap.
The
to
Mirror Retrievers.
actually
all that
make
stuff.
it shine. So the next one, number 6, Dragon's Mantra asks about Blightsteel Colossus sitting at $37. Well, the streak is broken for me anyway. This is a hard no.
Yeah, this is a hard no. $37 is just not worth it overall for this card in almost any deck. I did want to say this. Just like Clark Kent Lightworks, there is a very, 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 very small percentage of decks. It's
Smaller.
way smaller than Clark Kent Lightworks that do want this card. This is not the worst card in the world. It is not horrible. It is definitely one of the most overplayed cards of Commander, in my opinion, because I would have put this in almost any deck. My deck would have to be super, super specific. I'm never gonna pick this up for $37. I would trade this away at $20. I would trade this away at $15. I would trade this away at $10. I would not keep this card in my collection unless it was like $5.
If this card was 5 cents, I would still be saying it is not worth it to put a 12, 11 mana thing, whatever, in your deck, and then not be able to cheat it out or not have this surefire way of connecting with it somehow. Because if you don't have some guaranteed way to either surprise this out or make it unblockable or something, this card's terrible. It's worse than if it didn't have Infect, because it swings. They block with a 2/2. They take 9 Infect, which is irrelevant 95% of the time. Then this thing gets answered or they put up some shields. You just wasted all this time.
Yeah, Blightsteel Colossus is his weakness. Like, honestly.
It's a grizzly bear.
The weakness of Blightsteel Colossus is it doesn't stay in your graveyard. If this card stayed in your graveyard, recurring it, using it over and over and over again would be so possible, and there'd be so many cool things. This would be a great card if you can recur it. It's honestly,
it's slippery.
It's just it goes back into your deck, and as soon as that happens, you're not getting anything out of this once it's answered. That honestly, I really think that is the thing that takes this card from like, okay, good card for a lot of decks to you just can't do much with it.
Yeah, I can't ready this back. I'm never gonna hard cast it. You're just losing if you hard cast this card. It's too expensive.
Yeah.
Too expensive for you don't win the game.
Yeah. Next is suggested by Master Joshua. It's Burgeoning, and this is coming at $26. This one is really interesting, and I think there's a good discussion to be had.
Where do you stand?
Where do I stand? It depends on your deck. You have to be playing a deck that both wants to be that cares about early game, ramping out very quickly, and has a lot of card draw so that this card isn't dead late game. There are decks that it exists for, and there are decks where this is good. Also, Enchantress is another one.
Enchantress also good. Enchantress is going to draw way too many cards. They're not going to be able to deploy them half the time. And this will help you empty your hand of the land so that when you draw your cards next turn, maybe you don't have to do a discard.
Yeah, this is also, I think, a very overplayed Magic card. It's one of those cards that, if it's in your everybody always loves to focus on if this is in your opening hand. Yes, Burgeoning is incredible in any opening hand. I know.
Probably, kind of. I don't know. What if you just keep a 3-lander and then you Burgeoning them all into play and you don't draw a land? It's not even that great.
I mean, it's still it is.
It's fine.
If you can guarantee it's always in your opening hand, I'd put Burgeoning in all my decks. Yeah, that's definitely true. But I can't guarantee that. And because of that, now I'm just like, oh, okay, this is bad late game. So we have to play a card that, yes, it's incredibly good early game, but medium late game. And I think Burgeoning is a trap for landfall decks. I think you play your Explorations, you play your Azuzas, you play anything that gives you extra land drops on your turn. You don't play the Burgeoning. I just don't think it's that great.
Not being able to combo with a Excavator for land drops, so that you're just kind of missing them.
Yep.
It's when you're just losing out on potential land drops. I'm going to say Enchantress or the AC Tetiova, yes, and otherwise, just no.
No, I'm gonna just go with no because I like to have one distinct answer. So it's 4 yeses and now 3 no's in a row for me.
Yeah, I think I basically said yes to Ironworks, so I have no for the last 2. Okay, 10 Burning Babies. That's graphic. Suggests Ruby Medallion, which is $27.
This stands in for almost all the medallions. Ruby Medallion was just the one I chose because I think it's one of the best ones out of all of the medallions. This cycle is 2 mana for artifact, and your whatever color it is, spells cost less. Ruby happens to be red, so red spells you cast cost 1 less. This is very, very easy. If it's for a monocolored deck, 100% worth it. Anything else, you're out. So I would just say yes. I think this is just an easy yes, but these only ever go in single color decks. I also think the green one is unplayable.
Green one, poopy. You don't need it. We have way too many elves and mana dorks for that. The blue one is the most playable because blue-red decks tend to just be like 80% blue anyway. So maybe you could get it in there. But the rest, they're all just like monocolor or specifically like blue-red. You can still run the blue one. Yes, in monocolor. No, otherwise. I think that's pretty clear.
That's the simple. It's just these are worth it. Yes, you just be aware. You will never put this in anything but a monocolored deck.
Honestly, also make sure your deck's curve is kind of low. If you are just trying to slam 8 and 9 drops, this is not good when it adds 1 mana per turn. I mean, that's okay. It's a 2 mana rock ish. Could be a little worse. But if it's adding 2, 3, now it's insane. Now it's completely nuts.
It's super insane. Think about it this way: if your average CMC is 2. It's cutting your spells in half.
Yeah, how many spells are you casting a turn? Because if your spells are all 2 mana, this is the best card ever. If your spells are all 7 mana, it's just whatever.
Exactly, yeah. Like, removing one from a 7-drop is meh. Removing one from a 2-drop is incredible.
Mm-hmm. So next we got Jacob S. wondering about Birds of Paradise, $12. For me, I think I can easily sum this up by saying no. What about you?
I am on the complete opposite side of you. I think this is an easy yes. This card,
an easy yes.
Yeah, Birds of Paradise is absolutely one of the best mana dorks. There's like 2 or 3. Yeah, I know. We have a lot of like the mono green ones that aren't going to be that much worse. Birds is
that's where I'm at though.
That's where you're at for it. See, I'm on the opposite. I think Birds of Paradise is so good, and I don't know. It's so tough for me because like it just goes in any 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 color deck because it's able to mana fix for any color.
I think in 1 color you could pretty safely cut this for like Boreal Druid or something.
Okay, that's
if you're in like a 4 color or 3 color, which is kind of what I was picturing with this, I just think you could play an Avacyn's Pilgrim or an Elves of Deep Shadow. Not like that card's much cheaper, but like a Deathrite Shaman or something, and you get there's like enough 1 mana dorks that you're not gonna play all of them. And I don't think swapping birds for one of them, while it is probably strictly better, is necessarily worth $12.
Yeah, I think I'm on the opposite. I think the birds is enough better overall, especially for your 3 color and up decks, that I'm just going to say yes. I think Birds of Paradise, absolutely an incredible card. But yeah, I understand BC's point completely. It makes complete sense to use the same logic he's using to get to a point of saying no. But I'm going to say yes, and BC's going to say no.
Dissension in the ranks.
Ooh, I know. I know dissension in the likes. I said I can see your point perfectly, and it makes a lot of sense. Yes. But I disagree in this case.
Oh, man. The nitpicking nerds are over.
Oh, it's done.
Commander H1 wants to know, Concordant Crossroads, is it worth buying at $52?
This one is an excellent question. This is one of the hardest ones I think to answer on this whole list.
One of the greatest questions of our time.
Yeah. So Concordant Crossroads says that it's a global enchantment, which means
the old enchant world.
Enchant world. I said global enchantment, same thing. So there can only be one out at a time. So if someone plays another global enchantment, this one will be sacrificed.
Yeah, it counts the newest.
This is such a weird card. But all creatures have haste, and it's in green, which is why this card is so strong.
It's 1 mana.
Yeah, if you're playing red, if you have a deck that has red, you don't need this card ever.
No, you have at least Mass Hysteria.
You have at least Mass Hysteria, but there's a ton of things. You have a ton of things that only give you haste, and that's what you want more than anything.
You can pay a couple extra mana.
Yeah, Concordant Crossroads is special because it is specifically green haste, so it's great for elf ball decks, big stompy decks.
Even like a Voltron deck where you just want to get it and smash them.
Exactly. It's great for those kind of decks. I'm going to say overall, Concordant Crossroads at $52, probably overall not worth it. And one of the reasons I say that is this is a $52 card that can, and in my opinion, should be reprinted at sometime soon.
I thought it was reserved. No, maybe it's in Chronicles, right?
Yes.
Maybe it's not reserved. So this can be reprinted?
Yes, Concordant Crossroads could be reprinted. I think
man, I thought it was on the reserve list.
I think the reason this is avoided being reprinted is because
it's an
enchant world, and they don't want to confuse players because that's already a confusing thing.
Could have just put this in Mystery Booster.
Exactly. I agree with you. I agree 100% on that. But that being said, I wouldn't buy it at $52. I don't think that's quite worth it. I have plenty of green decks, and this is in none of it.
Oh man, I think the reserve list thing was the focal point of my opinion. Don't buy this.
Yeah.
If it can get reprinted, I'm off. You can do some other things. I mean, even Lightning Greaves, it's not the fanciest thing. Doesn't always do what Concordant Crossroads does. But with the elf ball decks, you're trying to add mana and tap creatures, it can still work.
Exactly.
And even Swiftfoot Boots.
Yeah. Next, we have Tennis 2020, or 2002, not 2020. Tennis 2002, important distinction.
Great year for tennis.
Great year for tennis. Probably one of the greatest years ever for tennis.
I think Mario Tennis might have come out then. For the Game Boy? That's pretty early.
No, not for the Game Boy. I would guess that's probably very close to Mario Tennis for the N64. But I digress. Ugin the Spirit Dragon is $23 currently. It was just reprinted last year. This one is very interesting to me. Ugin is, I think, overrated for Commander.
Yeah, it's not a panacea catch-all. I win the game now like it is in Historic Brawl.
But that being said, it is very good. 8 mana for a board wipe that sticks around usually after. Its weakness is if somebody has something that costs 7 or greater, it's going to die.
Yeah. And its weakness is it's 8 mana.
Yeah, and it doesn't hit colorless things, so it doesn't hit rocks, and sometimes it's just an artifact creature that'll just kill it afterwards. That kind of stuff makes this weaker. I'm going to say no, only because Ugin doesn't belong in a lot of decks. It definitely has homes, and there are decks that will want Ugin all the time, and they'll love Ugin in their deck. Overall, it's just not. It's not this insane, broken, busted card like some people think it is.
I mean, that's what the problem with Planeswalkers is they can only be so good. There's like a cap on them. And this is one of the best ones in the format. It's like top 10. And I don't think you have to bother with it. There's like no synergy with anything. So if you have the rare synergy deck, sure. But your deck probably doesn't synergize with Ugin because it's just a random Planeswalker.
Yeah, that's one of the big things about this Ugin is that you don't synergize with it in any way, like you're saying. If you're in a Planeswalker deck, like you're playing the Double E season deck, yeah, it's great in there. Other than that, Ugin is just not a card I'm gonna put. I would only put in the deck if I already had it and the deck was like
big mana.
Yeah, in that case, I'd be like, okay, I'll try it in this deck, but just not a card I want to spend $23 on.
Let's move on to number 12, which is B702's suggestion of Rhystic Study, $31. It's tough to pin down what price Rhystic Study's been at because there was a price we bought them all at, and it wasn't very great. Didn't feel fantastic, but now we just have them all. So I think for $31, I'm in. I'm going to say yes. It's a really stupid card.
I don't even think it's even close. We'll just do the power thing again. If you're talking purely about power, this is 110% yes. It can literally slot into any, and I mean any blue deck. There is no exception. If you're going for power, this is going to end up in your blue deck. I can't. Maybe some CDH decks don't want it, but even then I'd be surprised because it's so good in CDH where everyone's casting 7 million spells and using all their mana every turn.
Yeah. Also, no matter how many people know about Rhystic Study or they know to always pay the 1, it doesn't matter. This card, everyone's figured it out 100%, and it still runs away with games constantly, nonstop. I can't pay the 1. I have to advance my board state. It's not worth it for me. Well, that's fine, but I'm going to draw a card, and you're going to lose to this.
I think another interesting thing about Rhystic Study is we can do the same thing as the Vamp Tutor and that we were talking about earlier, the Vamp Tutor. If you're looking to make your decks a little weaker or more fun, Rhystic Studies are great. It's one of the greatest, easiest cuts. Just be like, okay, yeah, this card's stupid. I know I can put this in every single one of my blue decks, but I'm not because I'm trying to have a little bit more fun. So, and I'm not saying that Rhystic Study is inherently unfun. I'm using more of a broad use of the term fun than, you know what I mean. You guys know what I mean.
To the people.
Yeah.
If you don't think it's fun, you can take it out, and it's a good cut from your deck to make it more fun.
It is a card that I have cut from certain decks. Like, I'm not putting it in my new Amanatu deck because
it's a blink deck. I don't know.
It's a blink deck, and yeah, it'll be amazing in it, but it won't synergize. It won't be cool.
Yes. Who is next?
Noob.
From Rick and Morty?
From Rick and Morty, Noob. I believe his famous line is, God damn!
I just sent a GIF of that today.
I know, that's what made me think of it. Jessica's Will, he suggests, and it is $19. 19. That's a weird price, but it is 19.
Is it worth it?
Yeah, this card is incredible. Oh my god. Jessica's Will is a card I will admit to not knowing how good it was when it first came out because it was $1. It was 100% just $1.
Maybe like $3. It was like just a step above bulk.
It was very close to bulk. This card nobody was playing it and nobody thought.
Everybody thought this guy was falling with Jewel Lotus, Hullbreacher, and Opposition Agent. There was kind of like 6 cards in that set that were really good. There was like 1 of each color in Jewel Lotus, and it ended up being that Hullbreacher is now banned. That was like number 1, and then Opposition Agent was like way down the list. Turns out Jessica's Will was like the second best card from the set, not counting Hullbreacher.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Jessica's Will is very strong. Again, this one really depends on your commander. If your commander, the funny thing is this works great with big commanders because it ramps them out early.
Like Tibble.
Because exactly. It works great in Tibble. And if I draw it late in Tibble, Tibble's probably on the battlefield.
Oh, draw 3 cards.
Wow. I mean, this card is absolutely a house. I love that it's modal. Even if you don't have your commander, sometimes it's like impulse, draw 3 cards for the turn. Great.
Hit my land drop.
Play a spell. Great. That was a divination. Not the greatest thing, but it worked. Ritual gets 7 mana. Jeez, this card is just... And when you get both, you just feel like you're cheating.
Yeah, you do. And it feels like it's not a busted card. It's just really good. I like that. It's definitely below the line of like, this is ridiculous. It's way below that. It's very fair. You need things to go right for you. You got to have your commander. But when you do, it's great. And otherwise, you have a versatile, like, okay spell. I think it's definitely worth it for $19. Ignore the sunk cost fallacy of what it used to be $1.
Yeah.
It's not $1.
I also want to, I think you said it very, very well and pretty much perfectly. This is not a busted card. This is the kind of card I want to see all over the place in this when it comes out. It's like, dang, it is so strong. It is so good, but it's not an auto include. It doesn't go in every single deck, but it's great in a strong card.
We're almost done with our list. We're on number 14 out of 15. It's Splenda Daddy. Oh, boy. Helm of the Host is at $15. For me, we'll start with no. I'm just not going to get this. Some decks want it for like janky cool stuff, especially for power. I just don't think this card is very good. It's a fun card. It's a wacky card. I don't think it's good at all, actually. You know what? Let's just move it to I don't think it's good at all.
This is a reverse of a couple of cards we already talked about. If we're talking about purely power, and that's all we're talking about, no. Helm of the Host isn't worth it. This is not a powerful card. This is way too much mana to invest to get blown out. But you invest 9 mana, and then somebody kills it before combat, you threw away 9 mana. Sure, 5 of it's still technically on the battlefield, kind of. But if they destroy this, oh God, imagine the Nature's Claim on this. They just, oh my God, they literally got an 8 mana.
Or the Deadly Relic on your commander.
Oh no, all of this. There's so many things that could happen like this. Now, if we're flipping, we can flip the script here. When we're talking now, if we talk about fun, this is a cool, janky, fun, awesome, just an amazingly, honestly, a great design card that's not broken or busted. It's cool, and that's why it's $15. It is $15 because it's cool. If you want to do something fun and janky, and this fits with that fun, janky theme, I'm in for it.
Yeah, clone your legendary, although that is one of the reasons it's terrible. It's because if you're cloning a non-legendary, what are you even doing? Just play clone. So then you have to want to clone a legendary, and then you can just go off and have multiple commanders, and maybe they're the indestructible Theros gods, or maybe it's something else, and you're just caring about devotion or something, and you just go crazy. That's going to be sweet. Fun, sure. Power, never.
Never. It's literally not even close. For $15, this isn't even remotely close to what we want for power.
Yeah, if you have a really good commander and you're trying to upgrade your deck and you're wondering, should I play Helm of the Host? If you're just wondering, hey, is this a good card in the deck? No.
Probably not.
It's a fun card in the deck. It's not a good card in the deck.
Exactly. That is a great way to put it. And last but certainly not least, Grin Sakaturchen. That's German, and I know I can't speak German or say anything in German because I am the worst.
You could say kindergarten.
No, it's kindergarten.
Kindergarten,
I believe. That might have been just rude, but sorry. So Ranger Captain of Eos is $14. This is a really good card. So the thing Ranger Captain is very similar to
Birthing Pod?
Yes, Birthing Pod. The deck needs to be very heavy on creatures already. Care about the fact that this is going to be a creature on the board, and it has to have a built around targets. Now, in any deck that's playing Ranger Captain of Eos, I'm putting Captain of Eos.
Ranger of Eos.
Oh, not Captain, yeah. Ranger of Eos in as well. So the package is going to be there, and there's twice the chance of drawing it.
There's so many good one-drops. They just add to the power of this. I mean, I was just writing this, so I have them all on top of my head. There's Weathered Wayfarer, there's Esper Sentinel, there's Sarah Ascendant, there's Mother of Runes, there's Stepmother of Runes, there's either of the Soul Sisters, and this is just in white. There's also Hangerback Walker, Walking Ballista, Micaeus the Lunarch. Those are just 10 really good random cards off the top of my head.
And that's only in white.
Yeah.
As soon as you branch into another color, it gets Mana Dorks. It just gets a ton. There's so many one-drops. You can literally just do a Scryfall search for cards that cost, creatures that cost 1 or less. There's got to be, what, thousands?
At least 2,000. I don't know. This card's amazing. It's an ETB, so you want to flicker it or reanimate it. Savine's Reclamation, Sun Titan, Luminous Broodmoth, maybe. Just get it back into play over and over and over. And you can lock people out with the last ability to just stop everyone else. It's not even target. Every other opponent can't play non-creature spells this turn. You just keep doing it.
Yeah, this card is incredible. It is definitely worth the $14.
Yes.
But you have to also spend the money on the package of one drops. Make sure your deck has, I would say you want four. Wow. Yeah, I would say you want at least 4 targets, maybe upwards toward 6, 7. depending on what kind of deck you're building. And then make sure you also get the Ranger views. You're just not going to play one without the other. That'd be strange to me.
Yeah, you could.
You could.
This card is definitely stronger.
Agreed.
So if you're just Ranger Captain, maybe 4, and then if you're both, 6-ish. This card's great. It's really, really good. I think it's a steal at 14, honestly.
Agreed. Yeah, very good card. But that is our video.
It's over.
Yeah, it is. Special shout outs to every single one of our patrons. Love you guys all as much as we can without making you uncomfortable.
Fantastic. Go to the TCG Player link if you want to buy cards that you knew you were going to buy anyway. Now you have an excuse to buy them because when you buy them, we get a kickback on the order courtesy of TCG Player. It's like you're giving us money, but the number of dollars in your wallet stays the same.
Incredible. Isn't that is ridiculous?
That's unfair.
Yeah, if you want to help support our upcoming 50K celebration, P.O. Box in the description below. Send us whatever you want. Funny. Please don't send anything super expensive, and don't send anything inappropriate. PG channel. We're going to open it, and you're going to see us open it here, and we're probably going to be laughing a lot because that's going to be a fun video.
Yeah, and if you send something stupid, or, stupid's good, but if you send something inappropriate, we're going to open it off screen, and then you won't see our reaction.
Well, we'll open it on screen, but we'll edit out of the video.
You'll never see it.
Yeah, it'll never be seen by anybody except for us.
Right, exactly. So Tidbit.
Isn't there one more thing that we're missing a shout out?
Discord. We're in the Discord. We are in the voice chat. We are in the random chat. If you DM me, I will always respond. Deck tips, etc. Just little quick interactions. Totally down for that. There's also gameplay if you want to head to the what are the channels? The 12 gameplay channels that are constantly in and out. People are ruffling playing Commander.
Yep. Okay. So now tidbit about our life. This is easy. Easiest tidbit of our lives. Yesterday, actually 2 days ago now, on Saturday, we played in a sealed Commander event that was both 100 cards, singleton, and was super fun. You open 17 packs yourself, and then there's 15 minutes where you can just trade with whoever you want.
Literally just trade cards away.
Yep, trade cards, and then you build your deck. I built Gruul Tuvasa. Wait, is that her name?
No.
Tuya Bearclaw.
Tuya.
Yeah, I built Gruul Tuya Bearclaw. Super fun. My deck had some cool bombs like Terror the Peaks and Brash Taunter.
Yes, I built Nimris, Una's Trickster. I had 30 spells with Flash or Instant. That was literally the most cringy, annoying control deck ever. Deck was sweet. It ended up being, so it was 4 rounds at Just Games Rochester. Shoutouts to Dean and Patrick who helped set it up, among other people of the store. But it was 4 rounds, so everyone who loses gets eliminated. Then it cuts to, now there's 4 pods of 4. Cuts to 1 pot of 4, and our friend actually won the whole thing. Yeah. Shoutouts to Eric for winning the whole thing with his Carador deck. Carador is amazing.
Yeah, I do think I want to just talk about the event. The event was super cool, very well designed, and it was for charity. So more than anything, that's what matters.
Yeah, I went to the Trevor Project. They raised $4,000.
Yeah, that is what's important. They raised money for charity, and that I'm going to throw this out there because I know Patrick will probably watch this. I don't think there should be any prizes in this. There was a lot of so first thing. There's an hour round. At the end of the timer, a Havoc Festival, it's a card I'll put on screen right now, it's a card, and it went into play as an emblem.
To speed games up.
And end them, because obviously Commander games can go for 2-3 hours sometimes, especially when you're playing lower power like a sealed event.
Lower power, high stakes.
Yes. So that would speed up the games, and it kind of is rough, but it's I don't know. I'm not even going to argue with that, but that's one of the reasons I think prizes shouldn't really be on the line. Is
You're warping the rules in a weird way.
Yeah, it's completely warped.
There was also collusion. That's how your game ended.
Yeah, there was also collusion. The guy literally. So I was in the pod.
Well, we don't even get specific. If you're in a pod with your friend, if me and Cherries are in a pod, I don't know if the other 2 people can win. It's just kind of an awkward side effect.
I mean, I'm just going to throw out what actually happened. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to call anybody out or say anything was done incorrectly or was even bad. If I was in a tournament and I can make my friend win, I would, and that's what ended up happening. There was a trigger for. There's a Court of Ire trigger, and
weren't you all at 1?
I was dead. I died.
Yeah.
Everyone else was at 1. There was the Havoc Festival trigger that would have killed him, and a Court of Ire trigger to deal 2 damage. He got the King Make because he got to use his Court of Ire trigger, kill everyone. He chose his friend to win. Is that inherently bad? No, that's what I think should happen in that case.
Which is awkward.
It was just really awkward, and it really stinks because there was prizes on the line. It doesn't matter at all. I think that they should
go for the trophy.
There should be a trophy that you get your name on at the end. And that's really cool. And whatever the amount of prizes, whatever was going to go towards prize support should just be raffled off. Every last bit of it. This way, you're giving out just as much to the people, but you're playing for a fun prize. Your name is on a trophy. It's not actually worth money.
We actually had
the prizes were super good.
The prizes were good. We had that a similar problem. We tried to draft Commander Legends, and we made like prizes and stuff.
Yep.
We had to just cut prizes out and make. It was actually a signature on like the trophy that we use.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it. And I just think that's that when you play an event, any commander type event, prizes. I don't think prizes are a good idea personally. Now, is that inherently true for all commander events? No. But if I was ever hosting or running a commander event,
Maybe a non-competitive.
non-CDH, we'll put that caveat.
Not even CDH, but just non-competitive.
Non-competitive, yeah. So like if you're not going in, like it's sealed. It's tough to do that. Plus with the trading, the more friends you had there, the more advantage you had. So there's like these things that just made it unbalanced, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that because this was like incredibly fun event that I would do. I would do it next week. I would do it probably once a month is the most I would do because it is a lot of effort.
I might do it once a week.
That's
I don't know.
so much.
I don't know.
But regardless, it was super fun. The only there was a few complaints. It wasn't perfect, but hey, again, we would do it again.
Just living up to his nitpicking nerd status.
I have to nitpick. If I don't nitpick, what is the point of having our name be the Nitpicking Nerds? We can just be the regular nerds.
Why are we even here?
Yeah, exactly. Peace out, Tribe Scouts.